Saving starts with Xfinity. Get a great price on Xfinity Internet. Plus, ask how to get an eligible 5G phone on us. And for a limited time, $300 back when you add Xfinity Mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/start saving. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Restrictions apply.
Vax Stats. It's time for Vax Stats. If you're young and healthy, you are more likely to crash your car than have a serious side effect of the COVID-19 vaccine. So get vaxxed, y'all. Visit vaccinate.virginia.gov.
Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland and this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. So hello, and I haven't done one of these for a few days. That's it, really. That's the whole recording. There's nothing else to say. Haven't been around. I have been around. I just haven't been. Spent a lot of time in bed, including today actually, but less today than previous days. Just haven't felt very well generally. But there you go. That's life as it was, as it is, as it has been, as it could be, as it may be. Life as we know it. So I do, I had the occasional blip. The occasional, it's not even a rest really, just sometimes I just have a lack of functioning, a lack of an ability to function sometimes, which sounds a bit weird, but hey, it is what it is. It's something. Something that just happens. And so I guess if I'm going to be candid, if I'm going to be honest, bipolar. There you go, baby. Bipolar. It's the bipolar. I have drops. I have not eardrops or eye drops. Although I do have some Optrex that I spray on my eyes. My eyes are closed when I do it. And the idea is to soothe my eyes so I haven't got to itch them, scratch them, or, so they don't. Just it soothes my eyes. I quite like it. It's almost like a cold flannel. But nothing like a cold flannel. Or an ice pack. Icy ice pack is cooling, but refreshing. But not stinging cool, not stinging cold. Yeah. I don't talk much about the old bipolar, generally, because it's hard to make it. I mean, it's hard to take. I like to try and keep things light and, mildly amusing at times and not too serious. So, occasionally I will, if you go through the back catalogue of recordings I've done, there are a few ones where I do talk about my life and my less light-hearted things that have happened. So this is going to be just a mixture, I guess. I wasn't even intending on talking about bipolar, but there you go. I'll give you an idea of where I am now with it. Where I am now. I was, to be honest, the losing Andre has had. Oh bloody! I was still talking about that bloody ferret. Losing Andre was something that I couldn't really deal with, if I'm honest. I haven't dealt with it very well. Still, you could say, well, it's been 2 months now. Yeah. And you know what? I don't get flashbacks about anything really that happened in my life. I don't get. Occasionally I get a few, I have done in the past, but these days I don't really get flashbacks. But all I can see, I keep getting flashbacks of the last time I saw Andre, just lying there looking at me. And it's almost like that picture is imprinted in my brain. So just try to struggle a little bit with that. You start crying. I'm not, don't worry. But yeah, just so you know what's going on. It's just I think what it is again, it sounds weird really saying it out loud, but Andre was the first person that I loved, like, in that way. I loved him more than I've ever loved anyone in my life. There is, I guess, I was with him, for 6 years, every single day, most of the time for 6 years nearly, and just loved him to bits. And it's just weird, it feels a bit sad though, like, blimey, to be 50 and I've only really been able to love an animal, not to be able to do that with a human. I loved my nan, but it was a totally different kind of love. It was, very different. And I think even when my nan passed, she was 95 or something like that. And there was kind of a logic, I saw her getting older and frailer, and I knew that she wasn't long for the world, and so did she. And it was almost, I think 50% of the bereavement was done before she even died, really. I think, in a sense of acceptance. I didn't feel it really made it any easier, but there was also almost, because something we discussed and she talked about it, and she was very upfront and accepting with it, and I think that made it a little bit easier, after the event itself. I mean, during the event, funeral and stuff, I was a mess, but afterwards I was like, okay, well, she wanted to go. She didn't want to stick around anymore, so she got what she wanted, and I got to talk to her, and I saw her before she left, and all that stuff. But don't worry, I'll do some funny noises in a minute. I'll fart or something to try and break the ice. Bloody hell, talking about 2 dead people. This isn't fun. Yeah, well, that's just where I've been anyway. That's where I've been the last few days. Not felt very good. But it happens. It's happened all my life. I go through periods where, unmedicated, it can last for weeks and months. But medicated, it still happens, but it might only last for a day. It might only last for an evening. A feeling of hopelessness and, whatever. It might literally just be the evening, and I'm fine the next day. I just got to go to sleep. Sometimes it's the only thing that I can do. Sometimes it lasts for a few days, and sometimes it's not as bad. It's not as intense as that one evening. It might be like half the intensity, but it lasts for maybe a week or 4 days or something. And then I get a little bit of an energy boost, because during that period there's no energy. I've got no energy. Just getting up, going to the toilet, getting food, whatever. It's just a chore. It's a chore I'm sitting there hungry. But the idea of getting up and walking to the kitchen, and I don't live in a mansion. It's not a long journey to the kitchen. It's probably about 10 footsteps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, probably 6 footsteps to the kitchen, probably from here. And I end up eating breakfast cereal instead of cooking anything, because it's easier, but it's not fulfilling. Breakfast cereal is not a meal. It seems to do okay when I first wake up in the morning, but during the day it doesn't do the job at all. I remember when I was 16, I used to live in a flat above the chip shop, and I would work all week, sort of Monday to Saturday, and then I would have Sunday off because it was closed on Sundays. And I'd have so much energy during the week. I'd work hard. Probably my boss would disagree with that, but I did work hard. And on a Sunday, I'd get up, go to the newsagents, get 2 newspapers to read while I was having my breakfast. Have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, I don't know, breakfast cereal, read the newspapers, and then lay down and go to sleep. And I would spend pretty much all day in bed. But not in a kind of relaxed way, but in a real stressed, almost as if I collapsed. A bit like how I've been the last few days. And I did it nearly every Sunday. I'd put on a pretend about happiness, because I used to get told I was miserable quite a lot of the time. But I'd force myself to go to work, force myself to turn up and everything like that, even though I wasn't perhaps well. And then Sunday I'd collapse. I just completely, and I didn't know what was going on. It's very weird, very, very strange. And I'd be hungry again, like I am now actually, and I'd be waiting, like I want to eat. And it'd be strange, such a strange feeling, because I didn't have that when I was a kid. When I was at school, I don't think I had that. Because I'd get fed, get food cooked for me, go to bed quite early, get up early for paper round, or get up for school, do karate in the evenings, or go to Sea Cadets when I was even younger. So I was always fairly active. Always had part-time jobs. But I guess that's just the benefit of being a kid. That excess energy, that energy that just always seems to be there. So I was quite lucky. to be able to use it. Although I used to find myself get tired in school, during school lessons, I just find myself falling asleep because it was so boring. Now, no offence to the teachers, but they really were pathetic. No offence to the teachers, they just didn't. Most of the teachers didn't. I didn't find their way of teaching useful to me. Is that a nice way to put it? I didn't really, not at all. So it's a lack of stimulation. I'd like to say, well, I was understimulated because I was so highly intelligent that everyone was moving too slow for me, but that really wasn't the case. I was the slowest. I was just bored because I wasn't interested, and I can't fake interest. But I can. I mean, I have had relationships, but I struggle a little bit. And as I'm getting older, I can't be bothered to fake interest in anything that I'm not interested in. You know, I'll talk about the weather because I'm interested in the weather, because the weather's gone so weird lately. Like really, floods like everywhere, apart from where I live. Not the country, but just my little area. We had floods in London, in Stratford Station, where I used to live. No, I didn't live in a train station, but it was like, wow. Floods in Leytonstone, floods in East London, West London, North London, South London. Parts of, places not far from here, but not here. I actually live in a part of the country which has one of the lowest rainfalls of the entire country. How good is that? Doesn't feel like it in the winter. It feels like, it's always raining, but it's not. Really isn't. Here's something I was quite surprised about. The sunrise in the UK, I thought it was just sunrise the same time for everyone. It's not. It's different times depending on where you live in the UK. If you're in Scotland, Wales, so I'm talking about this plot of land, this island. England, Scotland, Wales, not anywhere else, because other parts of the UK could be different part of the world, pretty much. Isle of Wight, it's miles away. So you got different times, and you know what? Sunrise is an hour. An hour later than a month ago. An hour. Just in 1 month, an hour. Let me repeat that, an hour. So sunrise is something like 8 minutes past 6 in the morning. A month ago, 8 minutes past 5. A month before that, probably 8 minutes past 4. Or 4 o'clock, something like that. I woke up this morning. Do. Put my slippers on. Do. I went to the toilet. Do. Took my slippers off. Do. Run the bath. Do. Put my slippers back on. dude. Basically, it's about it's slippers. I just love my slippers. I know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I woke up this morning. Looked outside. I thought, blimey, it's only about 3 o'clock. It wasn't. It was 5:30. Crazy. Because it only seems a few days ago that it was 4 o'clock and it was light outside. I mean, wow. You know what I mean? So we've had the longest day already. I think we now have 17 hours long is the day now. 18 hours. Something like that. It's dark by about 9. Yes, it's 9 hours. So 9 hours. So 8, 16, 15 hours in the day. About 15 hours of daylight. That was a part belch then. 15 hours. So yeah, I just I don't know why I'm sharing that information with you. It seemed like the right thing to do at the time. What I've been doing actually, I've been updating the website and doing, as I couldn't be bothered to make any recordings, I wanted to at least try and do something. So today I carried on from a few days ago where I've been making changes, making all the podcasts that you can download for free, making sure that's free. And I played around with it a couple of months ago, made them $1.99 each, but I don't want any money. I don't want to charge for anything. I want everything to be free. That was the whole point of what I do. For it to be a free service, it has to stay free. So that's it. Everything's back to how it was. I've also made some changes to the podcast and added the information for the music, the background music. That took me a few hours because I've just done so many recordings and I get behind. I'm a little bit behind on some of the ones as far as the pictures. So I need to make some pictures up for my previous podcasts, probably the last 4 or 5. I'll do that tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, do it tomorrow, I think. It is weird though, there's this big part of me who just wants to go and lay down and go to sleep. And what's that even going to That was weird. What's that going to accomplish? What's that going to accomplish? Going to. I wonder why I said that like that. Going to. What's it going to accomplish? Sorry. Okay, I'll just stop being silly. Hilly. What's it going to accomplish me going to sleep? Laying down on the bed. I had my jab a couple of days ago. Well, it's nearly a week ago now, last Wednesday. I think it was, or was it Tuesday? Tuesday or Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Had my second jab. Still got a little bit of a sore arm, just a little bit achy, that's all. Achy, shaky arm. And that's it, that's fine. The stats for the podcast has been low because I've not been making any recordings hardly. I mean, if it stays like it is, even if I only do one every now and then, I'm still going to reach 1 million downloads a year, so that's quite good, but it's not good for people that would like to have more than, two or three recordings a week. Need to be doing that a day, really, to keep up with the different podcasts that I have. I really need to be doing one a day for at least one a day for the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, Deep Sleep Whisper, and Relax and Sleep Daily. There needs to be 3 recordings every day for those. Or one for each, rather. One for each podcast, so 3 a day. But, unless I did some for the future, so maybe did a bunch and just had them there, so for the days that I can't or just won't, I refuse to make a recording. I don't know, maybe have something spare I could just like a little mixtape. I used to do that when I was a DJ. I used to have a mix CD, where it would be mixed hits, 80s, 90s, maybe just disco, maybe Ministry of Sound, that kind of stuff. And if I wanted to go to the toilet or just have a break for 15 minutes, I'd stick that on. And no one noticed. No one noticed I wasn't there. But I didn't leave it on there. Unless there was like only 3 people in the audience and the staff wanted to shut down, what they would do is tell me to put a mixed disc on. Hopefully they'll leave, because the staff didn't like it when there was no customers, so like 1:30, they wanted to go home, and the customers would be like 5 people dancing around their bar of chocolate or whatever it was they were dancing around. More wham, more wham. Dancing Queen, can we have Dancing Queen? Come on, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. I used to, always remember, there's certain songs which the very beginning, the very, very start, the first few chords of the music gets a huge cheer. I'm going to list them. Shall I list them to you? Let's have a look. Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Come On Eileen. Dancing Queen by ABBA. What other ones? I Will Survive. I'm trying to think what other ones. Oh, probably Staying Alive. Bee Gees. I'm a Barbie Girl, or Barbie Girl. That used to be quite popular, but you know, going back to the late 90s, early 2000s, I'm not sure if it'd have the same effect now, but it was quite popular at the time because it was funny. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, wrapped in plastic. It's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me anywhere. It's weird that I still remember those words. Trying to think of what other songs. At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Like, it's the man hating song. We hate men too. Oh. Yeah, it used to be very popular, that song. I will survive. I hate you, I hate all men. I will survive. That is a very upbeat song. It's a great song. What other songs? Because it used to be for women. I used to cater for the women. Always. Cater for women. If the women are happy, then the men should generally be happy. Unless, of course, it's a gay bar, then it's a different situation. Because it's generally the women that dance. That's a cliche. I don't care. That's how it was where I was anyway. It might not be the same everywhere, but obviously it's not going to be the same everywhere. But where I was, it was the women that danced and the men maybe would get up in order to talk to the women, or you dance to the women. And then couples would get up and stuff, but Dancing Queen, do 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 do, diddy diddy diddy, like yeah, Dancing Queen, yeah. Boo da boo boom, ba doo da boo da boom, wham. Trying to think what other songs, blimey. So there was quite a lot of good dance music in the late 90s. There was a lot of dance music in the charts. Everybody's free to feel good. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. There was, and it was good music. Well, it was good. I liked it. Not always been a real big fan of dance music, but I liked that. Probably because I was playing it, I kind of got used to it, maybe. I had my finger on the pulse a little bit with music for those 4 years, because I needed to know what was in the charts and what was doing well and stuff, you know, but it was very much a disco, like a wedding disco. I provided a discount wedding disco. That was me. And the staff in the club hated it, because, you know, they were hearing the same stuff every week, and even my boss, and I tried to explain, yeah, you're hearing the same stuff every week, but the customers aren't. The customers aren't here every week. It's a new bunch of people. This is 200 new people. And yeah, they might come back every now and then, but maybe twice a year. So even if they hear the same songs, they're drunk probably by that time. By the time disco starts at 12, they're going to be drunk, or at least tipsy. They're not going to remember what songs were played. But the staff couldn't get that in their head. They couldn't grasp the idea that the disco and the music wasn't for the staff, it was for the customers. Oh, you play the same crap every... Yeah, and the comedians tell the same jokes. And the audience laughs. And we know you could actually see the comedians early in the evening. And a lot of the staff, you'd know their act. You'd know the comedian's act practically word for word. Because I'd see them maybe 20 times a year. And I'd know their act, and they'd be on like Friday, Saturday night, and then they'd be on maybe in the next month. Friday, so maybe every month they'll be on twice, 2 nights. Some would see maybe 10 times a year. So maybe on every 2 months, do a weekend. But you just get to know their act, get to know their jokes. And I can't remember any of the jokes now, but it's almost, it's like, say, well, tell the comedian to stop telling the same jokes. No, because that's what they do. A lot of them will go and tell the same jokes, but they get a good response because it's a different audience. If it was the same audience, they're not going to do very well. They're only going to do it maybe once, maybe twice if the people are drunk the first time. Happened to me once. I went to a gig and they said, heard that, do a different joke, do one we haven't heard before. So, blimey, trust my luck to have the same bunch of people as last time. I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to assume they came to see me, but probably, no, no, trust me. But I guess they were regulars, they were there every week or whatever, but it's like, blimey. But I turned it, I made a joke of it, and it went quite well. That's my version of the story. No. I wonder what that'd be like. I wonder if I'd have stuck at it. I wonder if I'd have ever had any success. It's hard to know, isn't it? In reality, it's hard to know because it's such a weird kind of career, being a comedian. In some ways, I think it's probably one of the greatest careers to have. In a sense of, you got your own boss, you get to travel, possibly the world, depending on how well you do and, what kind of gigs you can get. But I know people that have travelled to Canada, to South Africa, Mexico, France, Scotland, all kinds of places, as well as like nearly every part of the UK. So there's a lot of comedians that have they've not made it big on television, but they've earned a lot of money. They're touring, they go on, they do gigs all over the country and maybe earn £500, maybe £1,000 for the weekend. So yeah, I reckon there's a lot of comedians that are earning like 60, 70 grand a year, maybe if not more, and you'll never hear of them. You'll never know who they are. You'll never see them on telly, or maybe you'll hear them on the radio, maybe you'll see them on YouTube or whatever, or maybe you see them at a comedy club. But there's loads of comedians. But there's also some comedians that, because of the COVID stuff and comedy clubs being shut down, some comedians have had to go and get jobs, like delivery jobs, delivering stuff and working. in a not to trust me, being a stand-up comedian is hard work. It's not easy, so it is work, especially when you consider not many people can do it. It's a very tiny percentage of the population has the... Actually, it's not even telling jokes or being funny. Of course, you need to be able to do that, because otherwise you won't have a career. But just getting on stage and talking into a microphone is something that most people don't seem to be able to do, or don't seem to have the confidence to do. I remember I think it was about 2000, and my friend said, can you get on stage and announce that there's a car blocking the car park? And he handed me a piece of paper with the registration number on and the type of car it was. And this is before the comedy started, so the place is full, 200 people there, all eating their dinner or whatever. It's quite noisy. I was nervous. Can you believe it? I was actually nervous getting onto the stage and talking into the microphone. After sort of all those years of getting on stage and performing, as well as the numerous times I did karaoke as well, but karaoke is a very different thing. It's I could sing, so I felt a lot more confident with karaoke, because I knew that I was never going to get booed off the stage singing. So that was something that I had a little bit of I felt okay about. I might not have sung the way that everyone wanted me to sing, but I could hold a song in my palms and let it trickle down onto the floor like honey. I don't know what that means. Let it trickle down onto the floor. That's weird. Was it Tuesday, Wednesday? Okay, 2 more days. Tuesday, Wednesday, then it's Thursday again. Yeah. Then it's Thursday again. I do think about the future, and I think, oh, you know what I mean? I just think, what is this future thing? What is this? What's going to happen? What's going to happen in the future? And I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what's going to happen. Is anything going to happen? Something might happen. Something is bound to happen. But I don't know. I think, well, what am I going to do? Is this... I don't know. Is this my final destination? Is this me? Is this now? Okay, I'll just stay here till I retire. You know, so no, don't want to do that. Don't know what I want to do, but I'd like to. The idea of going to Thailand is starting to lose its appeal, because they're in a right state over there. They're not being looked after by their own people. The government are not looking after them. There's, I don't know, charities or individuals, quite a few YouTubers actually, are giving away food. And so donating food, they park their car on the promenade and they maybe have 100 meals. And I mean, probably thousands of people start running towards the car, and then they all queue up really neatly in twos. Not into like one, but like in two different queues, sit on the floor or stand up depending, and they just wait. And the queues are too long. And then someone else pulls up further up and everyone starts running towards that one. This is a lot of people, a lot of young women with children, as well as disabled men and women, elderly. What makes it weird? Perhaps it shouldn't. Perhaps it shouldn't make it weird, but in the backdrop is a beautiful beach and a beautiful sea and a beautiful sky, palm trees or whatever they have over there, and all these people just queuing for food because they got no money and they're hungry. I partly kind of thought, well, I'd like to go out there and just buy food for people and ask listeners to the podcast, and I'll film it as well on a YouTube channel, and ask people to just donate money so that I can buy food for people out there and give it away. But it looks like an endless task, almost, just because you feed them now, they're going to be hungry again in 4 hours, 5 hours. So where are they going to get fed then? So the only solution is to open it up again to tourists. But they haven't. I think they've closed down pretty much everything. Even though they allow people in, I think now, they've closed down pretty much every business in parts of Thailand, like Pattaya, places like that. Everything's kind of pretty much closed. Some stuff's open, but a lot of it's closed. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of gone off going there now, because unless I could give people food, I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to be there eating, because imagine you have to hide your sandwich every time you get on the beach. Just like find somewhere really quiet when there's no one around, so you can actually eat. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? I'm joking, but I'd feel guilty eating if other people didn't have any food. Strange, isn't it? But unless I make some changes and start to do something, maybe I need to make a new podcast. I don't know. I think I sometimes get a little bit bored with doing the same thing over and over again. And I like to do different things and mix things up a bit. I mean, the relax Relax and Sleep Hypnosis Daily used to be Sleep Hypnosis Weekly. I changed the title because it was gaining in popularity and I wanted to do more regular recordings. So I need to do those regularly. But I wonder, what can I do? What can I do different? And I started to go through the transcriptions. I don't know if you remember, I've got a transcription service that I'm subscribed to, and I pay monthly, but I have to wait till the 8th of August before I can use it again. But I did transcribe quite a few of the relaxation and stress, relaxation hypnosis for stress, anxiety podcast. I transcribed over 100 of those. But it needs me to do work on each one of them to change it and make it a bit more, I was going to say palatable, but just to make it correct. Because although I want to write how I speak rather, I don't always speak in a way that's readable. You know, there's what exactly. But can't have in a book because it's not very good grammatical. Doesn't flow. So doesn't flow off the page. You get me? In it, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's just trying to make it a bit more fluid. A bit more approachable, a bit more readable. So that's what I'm kind of trying to aim for. So I guess I could, if I get into that, I might actually enjoy doing that. Although I started doing it and I got bored because it's very focused work. Yeah, it's very, very focused. And it's weird reading myself as well. I'm used to hearing myself because I know exactly what I sound like when I talk, because I've listened to my voice thousands and thousands of times, so I know. Apparently most people don't know what they sound like, and they sound different when they hear their voice to how they sound to themselves when they're talking. Well, I sound exactly the same to myself when I'm talking out loud as I do on the actual recording, which is weird. It might sound weird, but I've tuned my ears into being aware of how I sound. I don't know if there's any benefit whatsoever to that, but at least I know pretty much what I'm going to sound like when a recording comes. You know, when I finish the recording and I listen back, I know pretty much what I'm going to hear. So sometimes when I go, like earlier when I was like, shh, and I kind of stuttered a bit. If I can see it, because it's like, it was about 20 minutes in. I might try and delete that. Snotty nose, yum yum. Snotty nose, big fat toes. So what's it, Monday today? Monday the 26th of July, 2021. I'm going to try to make one of these every day. I'm going to try my very, very best to do one of these. But I'd like to do a few, do a few more. I don't know. Do something a bit different. So that's what I'm going to plan. I've got some weird books that I can read out of and some facts and stuff like that. So maybe tomorrow I could do one where I talk about the Olympics and some of the Olympic. I heard someone earlier today talking about apparently one of the Olympic sports that you could enter for, in about 1920 was jumping on and off a table. So without moaning, the TV is a right hash up of the Olympics. They've ruined it. It's rubbish. The coverage is really, really bad because you never know when it's going to be on. Never know what's going to be on when it's going to be on. They show more than one event at the same time, or they show one event while another event. In fact, more than one event is being held at the same time. So it's actually impossible to follow. Really. I think the only way, even if you was there, it'd be hard to follow the whole thing. Even if it was just one sport that you're interested in. And I think with the TV, they do focus a lot on swimming and the things that English or British sportsmen often get medals for. Horse riding, or the things that we really, really, really excel at constantly, year in, year out. Well, every 4 years. But the things are, is it canoeing or boat riding? I don't know, whatever. Rowing. So rowing, bicycle riding, and we're pretty good at swimming as well. We've just had I think the person with the most medals ever we've got in this country. I forget his name. But most years we get medals in boxing. And I think we do pretty well at most things. Gymnastics, hard to compete against China and maybe Russia when it comes to some of those certain sports, or athletics, because they really put everything into training them up from an early age, like China, and it's like national pride, isn't it, for China and for Russia and stuff. I don't know how well. I think America's quite up there as well, I think, with gymnastics. I don't know, I watch it sometimes. I mean, I'm not really into it, but it is amazing. I just can't imagine myself being able to do that. If I'm just imagining myself on the mat doing lots of somersaults, and imagine doing the final somersault and then landing and just filling the whole room with dust. You know, the whole stadium, and everyone's like coughing. All you have to leave, they're coughing because there's so much dust. Because I'm so heavy. What if the building just fell down? Wow. Oh well, it's good to dream. It's good to dream. I do want to watch the boxing. It's weird because this year, again, like the European football title, Europa, whatever they call it, I don't know. 2020, even though they're doing it this year. The Olympics 2020. It's not. It's 2021 or 2021. Why don't they just change the name to what it is? Like we're almost going to forget. You know, do they think they're going to get confused? So in 2024, they're going to come to do it and say, wait a minute, no, it's only 3 years ago we did it. Can't have another one. It's got to be 2025. I can't remember why, but that's weird. It's confused us. No. I think they just didn't want to change their banners. They're very lazy. Change it to 21. That's the year. This is going to be confusing for people 200 years from now. That's it, really. That's it, mate. Yeah, that's all there is. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to figure out what I can eat. I need to eat something. So... remember to be kind to yourself. You deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Bye, bye, bye.